Okay, Holiday Monday in the Kingdom. Oh, this voice. Right off the bat, I'm in rough shape because I relaxed too much yesterday. All right, so this morning we woke up to -4, but feels like -8. Yes, lies. We were supposed to be -20 below that last night. Chilly willy, but no, it stayed warm right up till the end. Yes, on the yo-yo scale. +25 Fahrenheit, but feels like +18. Yes, no idea why it didn't get cold, like we're being punished enough as is. Also, too, it's a holiday Monday if you're a government employee. I grew up with both my parents being government employees, so they had the day off to relax and lounge around the house while me and the sister. I don't have my sister, I have the sister. Remember, she forgot to tell me that mother passed away. Yeah, and she owns a funeral home in the United States of America. Just a minor detail. So me and the sister would have to go to school, and meanwhile my parents stayed home. And I don't know what they did. Maybe they lounged around and had fun and frolic in the bedroom with us kids not being around. Yes. Oh, that's a nasty thought. Thinking of your parents actually, how would you say, in the bedroom? Ooh, that's a terrible thought. All right, let's scroll this way to see some sunshine. Because yesterday I did the morning intro. It was warm on my face and then it snowed. It was a nasty day all around, but the sun is over here. And we only got the one wood stove going. The whole shack gets way too warm in there. And then as we try to turn the stove right down to, how would you say, slow burn, it decides to burp. And then it burps smoke in there. We got to think of the little dogs and everything like that. We can't have them inhaling smoke like we did when we were growing up with mother smoking in the car, at the supper table, everything like that. So we have the shop stove going because we got to get the heat up in there and get that floor dry. Yes, floor dry. I don't know why. It's a dirt floor and it seems to be wet because it's melting outside. Oh well. All right, one complete revolution here. I mean rotation. All right, there we go. So we got things to do today. Hopefully we stay focused and don't get sidetracked because it's a holiday somewhere. So it's 5 o'clock somewhere. We can have a drink. Oh yeah, just like all day yesterday it was 5 o'clock. All right, I better go. Here comes the boss. Okay, people wonder what we did this weekend. It's simple. We'll start off with Once Upon a Time in a Faraway Land. Okay, we wrote the stories in the book, Cat Train Newsletter. This is the first edition. It's the black covered books when they were expensive to print, but Amazon saved my tushy by making them easier to print, cheaper to print, and cheaper to mail around the world because they're printed in the country where they're purchased. So that fellow buying this book in Japan, they are printed right in Japan, and same as the guy in Italy, the Netherlands, and all that kind of stuff. They're printed in those countries. All right, so now we go over here to the worst table of contents or index ever made. We want this story here. Where is it? Double J Adventures, Chapter 7, but we have no idea what the page number is. Okay, so we want the Double J Adventures, and this is part of the Cat Train newsletters. Back then, we went on a little adventure. It was 2003. Zena, the staff, and I went to a lodge. So we went there. All right. So there's lots of spaces. Yada, yada, yada. So here we are going across the ice on the snow. It was Easter, the end of March. Okay, spring break for the school. All right, I got a cough. Oh, that was lame ass. Just like in the bedroom. All right, so there we are at one of the lodges. There's the bombardiers. There's the famous black cat. We're making it look easy. So we delivered these tanks here. They're tank sheds to keep the locals from stealing everything, which worked out very well. So we dropped them off and brought the sleigh bunks back. Okay. Ooh, and there's the fun we had. A little bit of, how would you say, water on under the snow. And here we are through the wilderness. And then we got the communist cat, which should be the next picture. Oh, there we are. So we're dragging the communist cat out. That's how we got it. We dragged it from Saskatchewan. Yes. There we are heading back across our trail we plowed. And that's it. See, I got smart and used the the paper clips to hold the pages. All right, let's go check on something here. Okay, I'm in the back here in the pleasure room. So there's the Lynn tractor delivering the tank sheds to Fox Mine. That's the way we did it. We didn't load them on a semi-truck or anything like that. We just went down the highway because it snowed lots, and we opened it up, or that's how we delivered the tanks. And then we took the famous black cat out to deliver the tanks. And let's go to the map now. Okay, we're still in the pleasure room, and here's the map of Manitoba. That's Winnipeg, where Sir Rodney lives. That's where the population of Manitoba is. This is the road to the south. And then we got the so-called road from Thompson to the Kingdom. So what we did with the Lynn tractor, it snowed in March there. We drove down this road here, 396 I think it's called, to Fox Mine. All right. So that you can see the lake system all in here. So that's what we did. So we took a risk, took a chance, and got it done. The Lynn tractor had no problems pulling down a paved road which had snow on it. All right, let's continue the quest. Okay, we're over at the computer here, and I used Google Earth, and that's the best we could do. I was sober when I laid this out. So we came down the Fox Mine Road here. It's 30 miles, and then according to Google, you zigzag and you zigzag and you zigzag, it came up with 40 miles to this lodge here. But we actually went to the tank, one of the tank sheds, and picked up the communist cat over here. So you got to allow that. That was the first day of travel. We went down here, and over there, and then over there. And then we came back, and we went down here. Okay, so now Zena and I left the lodge, and we went from here all the way through the bush and wiggled around, picked up the communist cat and the other sleigh bunks, and then we made it to here, through here, and we did it in 12 hours. So it was one day, 9 o'clock from this lodge down here to Fox Mine, and then we hopped in a vehicle and drove the 30 miles back to the Kingdom so we could have beers and celebrate. So Zena rode on the sleighs or whatever, because we were bringing boats back because the lodge was upgrading. So Zena rode in the boat all across the lake here, and we made big drama that the ice was so bad that she had to ride on that. All right, let's go to the next picture. Okay, and then over the course of the last 23 years, I guess it is, 2025 minus 2003, according to Sesame Street, is 23 years. So it'd be 22 years we helped out that lodge owner. Anytime he got into troubles, we dropped everything, ran out and helped him, bombardiers, you name it. We've even flown out to the lodge numerous times to help out. So a friend of mine down in Flin Flon got asked to deliver some freight up to the Fox Mine. He said the new lodge owners are heading up there. So he snapped me a picture. He has a nice shiny truck, all the stuff, looking good, the best trader or whatever. This guy's a professional. He does everything correctly and does it right. So he sent me this picture, and I just laughed my head off. There's some goofy little trailer sleigh here with some pyramid skis in here, which when you go on rough terrain or anything, these skis just flip around. So I looked at this and I went, oh my God, what a flippin' joke. But this is the new lodge owner. You hear the old lodge owner had proven designs, sleighs, bombardiers, and everything like that. This guy's going new and improved, which he'll fail. Okay, this was a picture of interest to me. This is a D4D. So that's at 20,000 pounds, okay? Has a canopy on it. You don't go on the ice with canopy, because when the thing goes through the ice, how do you get out? All right, I've been on a couple of cats that have gone down. When you go down, you go up. So how do you go up when you got a canopy? Plus this thing has corks welded on the tracks and way too small of hole in the pad. So once you get into that slushy ice, this thing here will jam up. The hole is not big enough, and these corks, when you're trying to travel on, ice with no snow, you're just going to vibrate. You're going to vibrate the operator, plus you're vibrating the ice, so you might go for a swim. So I used my magic marker and edited out the stuff here. So when I seen this setup here, I knew it was a gong show and a joke. So all my friend had to do was drop off the load at Fox Mine, and then he was going to stop here for breakfast the next morning, but his e-log wouldn't allow it. And I had taken the bacon out and the eggs, and I was ready to burn everything, flame broil it for him to give him a breakfast he would always remember. So he went back to Flin Flon to get the second load, and then he was told not to come back because they had problems. Okay, this is the problem they had, and they were very lucky. They are lucky they didn't sink it in the ice when they come from the ice to shore and everything like that. But this is what they did. Okay, so they were lucky. And it's a stupid thing they did. The end picture here will show you. You can see the tracks of the cat. They were going forward, and then he backed up, and there's a track over here where he drove forward, and he sunk it. All right, so now you have one machine in the bush, and you sunk it. Now what? Well, there's big trees over here, kind of, sort of. You have holes in the pads here, so you can put a chain around, winch yourself out, or chain trees to get underneath. Okay, but these guys couldn't quite figure that out. So then I get an email or a message on Drama Book on Saturday night. Hey, we sunk the cat. Here's some pictures. Yeah, so these lodge guys don't pay. So why would I drop everything to go out and help these guys when I know I'm not going to get paid? So I've learned over the years. Okay, so we spent most of Easter Sunday dealing with these guys and the lodge owner. He's telling me he's a multimillionaire and everything like that, yada, yada, yada. He'll pay me, he'll e-transfer money, everything like that. And I'm going, yeah, right. We go out there and it's too late in the year, and what for? If we don't salvage it, it sinks and stuff like that. I still don't get paid. All I can see is I'm getting screwed just like all the other lodge owners in the past. Like we've gotten screwed so many frickin' times. I don't know why I even wasted my time. I should have blocked the fella. But this is easy. The stump pan hookers are sticking out. They've got some little toothpick trees wedged in here. Like this cat can be pulled out easily. But the thing is what the frick is this guy doing? Like there he was over here, and this is water, okay? You can tell this is water. You can see that it's water. And with the heavy snow, and it didn't freeze. So basically they just drove out in the ocean or out in the water and wonder why it sunk. But at least the operator, they were not on the ice and the operator didn't get trapped. But the way I look at it, these guys have created their own problem and I have no interest in helping them. Okay, I use my magic marker here. This is the trail here. And then they backed up and they were kind of doing something. We think they were turning around because maybe the sled or the sleigh or whatever that piece of crap was, that abortion on skis or something, maybe they couldn't pull it. So they were going back to dress up the trail or whatever. But to me, this is a total gong show, and this guy's promising me the world just like all the other lodge owners. We got screwed big time in 2014 at the Sickle Lake Lodge. The fella still owes me money, and he shows up in my yard and says, he gets out of the vehicle, he says, my friend, no, you're a freaking asshole, and you cost me money, so get out of my yard. Ooh, I think I'll have to delete that word. But I still get upset there, because every time I turn around, I get screwed by these lodge owners, and that's why I say, go on a cruise. Don't waste your time at these lodges and stuff like that. And this lodge owner, like, what are you doing? It's a proven trail. It's a day trip, and you made it into over a week now. Now you have to salvage this. But he's got lots of money. Yeah, I want no part of this. This is a gong show. So that was a waste of my Easter long weekend where everybody else was out and relaxing and enjoying. I'm dealing with these guys trying to tell them no, no, no. You know, just a waste of time. All right, let's go edit that out and get back to work. Okay, I'm outside here and it's not windy. All right, but it's actually nice. Okay, everything to salvage that D4D is in the welding sleigh because we've done it lots. We've sunk the famous black cat 18 times and it's no problem. Just yank it out. But the main thing is once it comes out, you got to drain the oils because there's water in the oils and water freezes and splits a few things. Plus it also makes a mess. So we got all the cables, everything in there. That box on the front where the cab of the truck used to be, because the welding sleigh used to be the 46 Chevy welding truck. At the front in this box is all the shift pulleys, clevises, and everything like that. And the chains to do a winch or a cable pull out, because you're going to use the cables there and make it work. Yes, you're going to make it work because you can't use the winch. All right. So what we have to do if we went on that salvage, we'd have to go over to the AC/DC sleigh. Let's go over there. Okay, we walked over to the AC/DC sleigh. This is a copy of what the old timers used to do with their water wagons or water sleighs to ice the trails to make the skis slide. All right, there's a sleigh slide, or skis on the sleigh slide. But this one here has double ends. So it's the AC/DC sleigh. Yes, AC/DC. That means bi-directional. Joan Jett has the song AC/DC, and she has Carmen Electra joining her in. So it's kind of a neat song. So we'd load what we'd need into the box here. And we have the fuel barrels up front so the cat would have enough fuel. So that's what we need is the cables, the welder, a few things, everything shoved in here for a salvage of that D4D. Oh, these lips. But the main thing is the skis here, bi-directional. If you have to back up, you can back up. The welding sleigh can't back up. See, that's one thing nice with that sleigh is you're always going forward. So you got to think positive. All right, let's continue. Okay, we're over at the D6-9U. Yes, the 9U. This thing weighs in at 26,000 pounds. It's a true winter freighting cat. It has the wooden top rollers up there, not like that D4D. Also, too, there are no corks. We don't weld corks on these cats. Okay, the famous black cat over here had corks for 1 month because we did a job and then we cut them off. They're useless to us because they just shake the shit out of you and you bounce all over. Also, too, look at the holes in the pads. All right. Those are the holes in the pads you want for wet snow because it'll go out. Those small little holes they cut in track pads, that was a waste of time. Just a waste of oxygen and everything like that. That track will jam up and snap. Yes, it'll snap because the snow packs in and makes it hard. So this thing here weighing in at 26,000 pounds is not what we need to go rescue that D4D. Yes, that D4D is 20,000 pounds sitting at a vertical angle. Plus, you have to remember they went in the bush, and my trucker friend was supposed to have breakfast with me, but the e-logs didn't work out. He had to drive according to his e-log if he wanted to get home to cuddle on the couch with his wife. So he was supposed to reload and come back the next day. Yes, one day home, come back the next day. But he got messages late at night saying not to come. They were having troubles. So when did they actually sink the D4D? And when were those pictures taken? Like right now, that cat could actually be farther under because they tried and made a mess. So it could actually be laying on its side in the water. So going out there, it'd be a simple recovery with the winch. All right, just winch it out. But how do we get such a big cat out there? Because it's been 1 week and the warm weather temperatures changed. So this is not the cat we'd go because we'd end up sinking it. So let's go on to the cats of choice because we have lots of cats for lots of jobs. Okay, we're behind the house and these are the cats of choice. Yes, these are the cats. Go take the little cats out. And Jack is up there and he's going to narrate this video along with me too. Okay, so in the past we would take the communist cat. Yes, the communist cat because it's done everything and everything. But we need good hydraulics, okay? The hydraulics on this aren't powerful enough. And the pads aren't wide enough. Yes, these two cats here, Communist Cat and Cursor Reverse, have narrow pads. But look at the size of holes in those pads because they were good in the wet snow. And the funny thing is they've both been out there. Yes, they've both been out on that trip. Okay, so over here we take Aggie. Aggie has a good hydraulic pump. And we love this blade for lifting. And it does perfectly for, how would you say, cutting and plowing. And it's angled. Okay, it can angle. The Communist Cat blade now doesn't angle. Before it had the V-plow. So this is the perfect cat to go. It has holes in the pad. It's a proven one. We went and got the wings off the Beach 18 across Lynn Lake there last March. Yes, we spent it over $1,000 or whatever to go get the wings, and the YouTube return on that was $385 a year later, so that wasn't a good marketing decision. But these cats are all equipped with a tail right up there, so if you sink them or get stuck, you can pull them out. But we need speed, okay? So if Aggie can go fast because he's an ag cat, he's geared differently. And then we'll take Laverne. Yes, Laverne. He doesn't have a blade, but we don't need a blade. We need something to pull the AC/DC sleigh. And Laverne here is an ag cat too, or whatever from the south. He has speed. I don't know why the ag cats have a different gear ratio. They go faster. So Laverne would go because all he's doing is pulling the AC/DC sleigh. And then once out there, if one cat is giving problems, the other cat can salvage it, okay? And Laverne also has a 16-inch wide pad, so he walk on water. He doesn't have the rollers on. That's on the to-do list to put the wooden rollers on, but this would be perfect. So all we do is hook up the cables and the pulleys and winch that cat out using force, okay? That's what the Russians do. I can't include a link to their videos over on YouTube because I'll get, bad boyed again like they did in December. But those guys know how to do it without winches. And that's what we do. Just show up with cable, with ship blocks, chains, clevises, everything like that, shackles, you name it, and that's how you recover it. We've done that numerous times, and that's the way we do it. Taking the big D6 out would just create problems like when I said I do. And then there's a good chance of being late in the year, okay, these cats and the AC/DC sleigh would have to stay on high ground because with the warm temperatures and it's being a week later after they sunk that, who says we can come back across? We can take a risk going out because it's supposed to be like minus 20 below and all that. Travel at night and go fast. Be quick, yes. And then everything has to stay for a year. So I don't think the lodge owner would be interested in paying me top dollar for all this stuff. And if he did agree to it, in the end he'd say I didn't do the job properly and refuse to pay me. Just like all this other crap in the story of my life. So I'm enjoying life as a YouTube, influencer and a 5-star Amazon author. All right, let's go burn some lunch in the microwave.
Monday morning in WHO-ville, it's almost 11 a.m. and as you can see, it is pretty nice out here right now. The sun is trying to shine and there's some clouds in the sky. We're actually supposed to get some more snow or rain, so let's head inside and let the dogs out. Then at 1 p.m. I'll head over to the kingdom and see what we're doing this afternoon. 12 p.m. and I just got back from the store. I grabbed a bunch of Easter stuff. I'll do a little video on that when I head inside. I grabbed this white cheddar mac and cheese. It actually looks pretty good. They've never had this at the store before, so this is what I'll be having for lunch. Let's head inside, and the dogs are already outside, as you can hear from her crying, and let's make lunch. While I wait for lunch to cook, I just wanted to show you guys what I all got from the store. This is everything that wasn't on the shelf when I went there on Saturday. Of course, they put it on after Easter for 50% off, but look at all this stuff. It was $78 and I saved a total of 64 bucks. Almost 1 p.m. and I'm just finishing up lunch. This is the temperature we're sitting at right now. It's -1 degree Celsius, which is 30 degrees Fahrenheit. We even have the feels like on the bottom. The sun is nice and warm, but there's a bit of a wind, which makes it chilly. So let's head inside and get ready, then head over to the kingdom. I don't think we're doing much today. Just after 1 p.m. and I made it to the kingdom. Looks like we're just going to be moving the firewood from the hoe shack over to the shop because it is pretty warm out here. My dad doesn't need the wood stove going anymore. He has the baseboard heat in the hoe shack. So let's head on down to the shop and move some stuff around. Then my dad's going to get on the mini and start moving the water. As you can see right here, it's trying to flow into the dog pen. So he's going to get it to go away. Down at the hoe shack, and I just got all the firewood from the hoe shack put into the shop. Now I will fill the wagon with some trees here, and then this can go back into the shop as well. My dad is on the mini fluffing everything up. That way the sun can melt it. We can start cleaning up the kingdom. 1:30 and I just got the wagon filled and put into the shop. I'm officially done in the kingdom. We aren't doing very much today. My dad's going to play around on the mini, so I'll head inside and grab my dog treats and go back into WHO-ville and do the weather at 4:30. 4:30 and this is the temperature we're sitting at right now. It's 0 degrees Celsius, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. We even have the feels like on the bottom. It was pretty nice in the kingdom. There is still a bit of a wind, which makes it chilly. So let's head inside and let the dogs out. Then I can get supper ready and end my day.
Okay, holiday Monday and we're quitting early. I was down riding my hoe. Yes, I was riding my hoe on the firewood pile, getting organized for tomorrow. Yes, so it was a nice relaxing day. Everybody else was enjoying a holiday Monday, so we were enjoying it too. So it's a good day when you get to ride your hoe. Alright, so the staff moved the wood out of here over to the shop because we're going to keep the stove going in the shop because we can control it and we're having to heat such a big area. Alright, the sun is really melting. I fluffed up the pile so it'll melt better. And let's look at the flags. Oh, look, they're all tangled up. That's going to be me in about 20 minutes. Oh, wait, I got to walk the dogs, make a video, and we'll talk to you later.